Welcome to my fragrance show. We'll learn together and grow together. Oh yeah. Oh yes. Oh yeah. Welcome to my fragrance show. I am Marshall's Blends Fragrance, and today we're going to be talking about fragrances that I love today. Join me. I'm going to start off with the fragrances that have one representative of the house, and it's not because it's the only one that I love from the house, but it's the one that I'm loving today. These are fragrances that I feel that can be worn at least 3 seasons of the year, and in particular, I've been rocking them in the summer. First, I'm going to start off with my favorite fragrance of the world, which is the Waft from the Loft by 4160 Tuesday London. This is floral, this is resinous, this is ambric, this is oudi. This is definitely oudi. This is a parfum. It works wonderful in all seasons. I love this fragrance. You see the dent. This is a very strong, potent fragrance. I love it. Again, this one is the Waft from the Loft, 4160 Tuesday London. Another one that I've been loving, Sensualize, Barry from Sensualize. He was the one that introduced me to the house of Giorgio Beverly Hills, and I love Giorgio Beverly Hills for him because it reminds me of a fragrance that has long been discontinued from the house of Davidoff, which is Davidoff Good Life. Was my absolute favorite fragrance in 1998, and then it got discontinued, and now people are trying to sell it for $500. Get out of here. I used to be able to purchase it for 20 bucks. So I left that space vacant in my olfactive heart, and finally I found something that has filled the space. For me, it is just a wonderful, it's like fougere, you know, it's a wonderful, wonderful scent. This fragrance really is absolutely good. It doesn't matter what decade, I gotta tell you, it is good. If you like a masculine smelling fragrance, one that is a clean yet very aromatic, and clearly when we say aromatic, we mean herbaceous, right? It's herbal. It does the job. That is one of my favorite fragrances. One that I think you can wear all year round. I particularly love it more in the summer. It just does something on my skin. We're going into MOIR fragrance. This is a company that does bespoke fragrances, and this is a fragrance that I commissioned, and the notes are rose, vanilla, carnation, and amber. And let me tell you, this smells absolutely wonderful. You get that beautiful rose. That carnation accord that was created for this fragrance is absolutely fabulous and fantastic. It doesn't smell like a 1990s carnation. It is a very modern carnation. I say that this reminds me of Orlov, Star of the Season Elixir, but a summer version of that. It's absolutely wonderful. Now, that's not to say that the Star of the Season Elixir can't be worn in the summer. I actually gave it a decant of it as a gift to a friend of mine, and that was what she wore for her wedding day. Her husband could have worn it too because it is essentially unisex. Another one that I have representing is Oud Mosaic, number 17 from Banana Republic. This is a wonderful rose oud scent. I gotta tell you something. Now, I did do something that is unconventional, unorthodox. You're not supposed to leave your fragrances out in the sun. I did leave this out in the sun, however, and if you look at the color of that juice, you can see that it did get toasted. I'm gonna say it got toasted, but it worked to its benefit because that process caused it to last longer on the skin, project better. So This was one that I am happy I did choose to leave it in the sun long enough to kind of give it some strength. Someone in the live last night chatted and asked, but isn't that bad? Yeah, for a lot of other fragrances, you don't do that. I'm not suggesting you do that. But if it's a fragrance that you're willing to try and experiment and see what happens, experiment, you know? And that was what I did with this one, and I fortunately came out winning. Another fragrance that I am absolutely loving today is Roger & Gaillet L'Homme Menthe. This is one I've spoken about since I began my journey, fragrance journey this time around. I just love it. I love it. I love it. It does give you mint, but it's not only mint. It gives you spice. It gives you, I'm gonna say a little bit of an amber energy, although it doesn't have amber. It gives you a little bit of that sea-esque energy, although I don't think it has amber green. It's one of those fragrances that you can wear year round and is perfect for the office. It's okay for a date, and it's really good to just lounge around. Roger & Gaillet L'Homme Menthe is one of my favorite fragrances, and it has never left from my list of loved fragrances. Another one that I love, which was, I discovered it this year, Tammy. Hey, Tammy, how are you? Tammy Loves Fragrances introduced me to the house of Darren Allen. And let me tell you, for me, Darren Allen has been the house that I have discovered this year that has just honestly brought me so much fragrant joy. I cannot speak more about how much I love Darren Allen's house. He has tons of fragrances. Get his discovery set, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed with his discovery set, and you will definitely find at least 5 fragrances that you want from that house. Darren Allen perfumes. Now this one is called Devil's Share. For me, it's just one of the best. Now, for me, the number one fragrance of his house is Cupid's Bow. It's just won my heart. I love it. I love it. But Darren Allen's perfume, Devil's Share, is the one I'm loving today. It just smells so good. It smells wonderful off of the skin. It smells wonderful in the air. It lasts for hours. It projects for hours. It gives you a great scent bubble. It's just really a solid fragrance. It's one that you cannot go wrong with. And again, this one also, could be masculine leaning, but it's definitely unisex. And I also say depends on your skin's chemistry, you know. Okay, so those were the houses that I had one representative from them. So now I'm going into the houses that I have at least 2 that I'm loving today. Doesn't mean that there are only 2 that I have, but they're the 2 that I'm loving today. I actually want to start off with something that is called Body Butter. This one's called Apple Bay Rum. Apple Bay Rum. And I love how it smells on its own. On its own. You can see that I've used a bunch of, it's exactly what it says. You get Apple Bay Rum, and you can rock it with any fragrance where you want to add an apple or a boozy note, or if you want to enhance an apple or a boozy note, go for it. When you get them, this is what they look like. They look like kind of like a rose or a flower in there, you know. This one is called Pretty, and it smells absolutely pretty. And they actually came out with a fragrance for this one. It's called Pretty. Again, this company is Rose Gold Fragrances and Rose Gold Poppy. So on Instagram, it's Rose Gold Poppy or Rose Gold Fragrances. If you go to the Google or Schmoogler, Rose Gold Fragrances, and you can order these fragrances. The other one that I got is Boozy Peach. Now this one I did kind of let it drop, and so it got like that, but didn't affect the smell at all, I'll tell you that much. It is a wonderful, exactly what it says, a boozy peach. So this is one you can wear with your floral or your fruity fragrances. This is one you can use just to enhance a boozy note or to give a boozy note to one of your fragrances. So I'm loving these body butters. Miyaki. The house of Miyaki has 2 on my list. One is called L'Odyssée pour Homme. This is like a yuzu balm, and it just really does last on your skin forever. And it really, let me tell you, so we've been having really hot days here in the summer in New York, and Miyaki has not let me down, not one bit. I do overspray them. I mean, you can tell by the dent that is there. I do overspray them, but I love using them because I this month, or last month I should say, I was working 2 12-hour shifts, so the fragrances really have to last. Sure, I can carry the bottle with me and respray, but I don't want to have to do that because I also leave my arms clear to test at work. I would test out other fragrances, so I do need something that's gonna work throughout at least 12 hours, and this was giving me at least that much. I mean, I'd come home and I'd still have the smell. One that surprised me, I wasn't looking for it, but scentsibling.ca, Julia, she sent me this as a gift, and I am so grateful. I mean, you can see the dent that it has, and it's been with me less than a month. This fragrance, I think at one point I wore it 3 days straight. PLEATS Please by Miyaki is the cleanest fragrance I have ever smelled. I say that it's like Versace Versense and CK Woman put together and made unisex. It is such a wonderful, clean scent, and it is powerful. It is long lasting. It smells so good. So I am loving these fragrances. So these are, remember again, these are all fragrances I am loving today. Doesn't mean I'm gonna wear them all today, not necessarily. But you know, I could spray any 7 of them on different parts of my body and leave the house and feel just fine. Yes, I did say 7 of them. So now we're going into a house that I have put 3 of them that I'm loving today. Doesn't mean that there are only 3 that I have, but 3 of them that I'm loving today. The house is City Rhythm. City Rhythm makes some awesome juice, awesome fragrances. They have Miami, they have Manhattan, they have Pulse, they have Rhythm, they have San Diego, they have the Red Line. And so the Red Line is actually their newest fragrance. I love this one because it has the sparkle inside of it. Now I want to say thank you, Niles. Niles sent this to me to give it a go, and I love companies that support the people that support them, that show the people that are crazy about them that they're just as crazy about these people. You know what I mean? And yes, I am absolutely bonkers for City Rhythm. If you have not tried City Rhythm, you gotta do it. They have travel size decants for 30 bucks. Well worth it. And I tell people, listen, if you want to try it out, try any fragrance out. See if you can get a travel size decant. After you do the first travel size decant, do a second travel size decant. And if you still feel that you need to have that scent within your reach, then it's definitely full bottle worthy. I'm not saying that that's canon. That's not how it's supposed to be. It's not how it has to be. It's just a suggestion that I give that I feel that really does work. So you buy yourself 1 travel size decant. If your nose says it wants another travel size decant, get yourself a second travel size decant. After that second decant, if you feel you need the bottle, get the bottle. But this is such a wonderful, you get the lime, you get the coconut, put the lime in the coconut, you get the lime, you get the coconut, you get the juniper, you get, you know, all these wonderful smells. I even pick up off of this some spices. It's just really good, and it lasts for hours. It projects really wonderfully and wears really good. Now my favorite fragrance of the entire house is one that I explain. I tell people, look, it's my favorite. It's one I love the most out of the entire house. The one fragrance that is most popular out of the house is Miami, and I understand why, because it is phenomenal. But for Marshall's Blends fragrance, Pulse is my favorite. Pulse is my absolute favorite. And the reason why it's my absolute favorite is because it is one that just gets compliments all over the place. And although I'm not one for compliments, I like getting compliments. You know what I'm saying? And it's one that actually garners me the compliments. It's what I'm gonna wear today. And so it has a molecule in it that radiates the more body heat, or the more you sweat. And this really does do that. And it projects, let me tell you something, it projects very far. So that's why I love Pulse. It's absolutely wonderful. The other one, as I mentioned, Pacific Line, right? Or Pacific Sunset, San Diego. I love it. And this one, I mean, they all kind of pair well. They pair well. But San Diego just gives me this like floral, fruity, you know, Pacific energy that is just like relaxing, it's calming, it's soothing. I want to say it's like a vacation in a bottle, put it like that. So that this one is one that, yes, it's definitely full bottle worthy, in my opinion, for me. This is one that I will be getting a full bottle of. I mean, you can see how much I've used it, you know what I'm saying? So that was it. For City Rhythm, it's the Red Line, 2654, Pulse, and San Diego. Well, this house, I'm loving 4 of her fragrances. This is Shelter and Perfume. Shelter and Perfume. She has In the Vineyard, which is for me one of the best green fragrances you can get your nose on. If you love green fragrances, you must get your nose on Shelter and Perfumes In the Vineyard. In the Vineyard. I love this. Oh, I love this. This will give you 24 hours of wear, wonderful projection, wonderful sillage, wonderful scent bubble. I just love it. I really do love it. The other one I've been loving is it's the same company, Shelter and Perfume. This one is more like herbaceous green, where this one is like a field green, vineyard green. This one is like what you would expect from green. It's not vetiver heavy, but it's green. And I love wearing it. These are like, what they translate to is like fresh in high heat. They translate to fresh in high heat. Now, Sir is a Fouget that I absolutely dig. This one to me is like, it's spicy. It's slightly peppery. Oh, I really do enjoy wearing Sir. And it does. It's the people that I've given it to, or people who have smelled it, have said that this smells fancy. And it is a very fancy smelling fragrance. It's distinguished, it's different. It doesn't smell like anything, but what I do say is if you like Dior Homme Sans Iris, this kind of could fill that space. It could fill that space. Not saying that it smells like it, but it could fill that space. And the last one, but not the least, is one called Sogni di Vetiver. She sent me this one as a gift, Sogni di Vetiver, and my friend Raymond was the one that gave it the name. And let me tell you something. Can I tell you something? Sogni di Vetiver, what I smell is fresh growing vetiver, fresh growing sugarcane, fresh growing lemongrass, and seawater, or maybe bay water. Bay water. That's what I smell, is like bay water. All of that put together. And the sugar cane is not like processed sugar cane. It's like if you've ever had freshly cut sugar cane in your grasp and you smell it, that's what it smells like. Or even if you've been able to bite into that sugar cane, that's what I get. It's a really beautiful green fragrance. So those are 4 from Shelter in Perfume. The 4 from Shelter in Perfume are In the Vineyard, El Sur, and Sogni di Vetiver. Sogni di Vetiver. Now, from the House of Perfumology, yes, Perfumology is a store that sells niche and indie fragrances in Philadelphia. So Perfumology sells indie and niche fragrances in Philadelphia, but they also have their own fragrance line. And these are 2 that I cannot, understand me, cannot live without. Clutch and SUDU. Originally, it was just Clutch. SUDU is the 5th fragrance that they've added to their line, and in my head the first time I was like, I'm gonna buy it just to support the company and see what it smells like, but definitely it could never take over Clutch or match Clutch, because Clutch is just that wonderful. Elemi, I think it has ginger, it has incense, it's a wonderful fragrance. Just a wonderful fragrance. And the SUDU has tons of natural materials, and I just figured I'm not gonna like it, but I'll get it and I'll try it. Was I ever wrong? I fell in love with SUDU, and so they both now share the same spot, number 1 of that house, Perfumology. Clutch and SUDU, they're just wonderful. It's a white tea fragrance. You can see that dent. And it has a phantom note of leather. So it smells absolutely wonderful. From the house of Alexandria Fragrances, I love Royal Equestrian, which is a Leighton clone, and I love Lady Diana Exclusive, which is a Parfums de Marly Delina exclusive clone. They are both wonderful fragrances. Yes, they behave well year round. To end my fragrances that I am loving today, I'm gonna talk about Zahara, the house of Zahara. And thank you, George, for making awesome fragrances. He has sent me fragrances that I was able to use to do random giveaways, and I'm forever grateful to him. That's very kind of him. So Zahara Signature Noir is absolutely a wonderful fragrance. This one, I gotta tell you, this one, you cannot go wrong. You know, you cannot go wrong with this fragrance because it hits all of the marks. It's, you know, noir means that it's going to be spicy. It's going to be somewhat resinous. It's giving you that, but it's also giving a slight freshness that you don't expect for a noir. It gives you a slight booziness. It's just really wonderful. This is an all kind of fragrance, and it makes a wonderful gift. You want to give a gift to somebody, noir is one of them to give. The other one that I fell in love with, Signature Rose, Zahara Signature Rose. If you love rose fragrances, this is one to get. Now, sorry, this is called Rosé, correct myself. This is called Rosé, and Rosé is actually like the champagne rosé. So it's not just a rose fragrance. It is a sparkling kind of fragrance. It smells wonderful. It lasts at least 8 hours on the skin, and it projects pretty well. It definitely gives you a solid scent bubble. So all these are fragrances that I am loving today. And for the most part, I love them, period. You know what I mean? I love them, period. That's like I say, like to make a list of 50 would be so easy because fortunately the fragrance world is varied and it gives you a lot. Yes, I did throw in a body butter to kind of, you know, introduce you to the house of rose gold fragrances. Rightly so, they do deserve it, but all of these fragrances are fragrances that I have been loving. I'm loving them today, and I have been loving them for a while. There's a few more that I could have mentioned in this list, but I'll talk about them some other time. All right, but I hope you guys are doing well. Goodbye, my lovely fragrance blenders. I'll see and smell you soon. Ciao, ci vediamo. Love you guys.